Hello, Amanda, Jennifer, Miranda, Keisha, Veronica, Jessica, Tisha, Lauren, Ingrid, Leslie, Caroline, Lisa, and Danielle. Welcome to Ethical Leadership, LOS 400 in the fall of 2021. I'm glad you're taking this class, and it is my goal to help each of you be as successful as possible. And my definition of success for this class is that this class would provide you with some tools, with some strategies, with some insights to make you more effective, even just a little bit more effective as an ethical leader. That this class would provide you with some self-awareness of what your own ethical principles are. What are the important things to you? And what are the things that guide you in your decision making, in your actions, in your life? That if we take the time to get a little more self-aware, that is a huge benefit to us as people, but just as importantly as leaders. When we have more self-awareness, when we have more awareness, we are enabled to make more choices. When we understand the principles and other things that influence us, that influence our actions and decision making, we have more choices. When we have more choices, we have more freedom. And when we have more freedom, I think we are able to generate better results for ourselves and for the people that we work with and for our customers and clients. So that's the goal here. Yes, it is a pretty big goal. I'm not expecting this to have a huge transformational impact on you. It is, after all, an academic class, but I think there are some things here, if you will engage with them, that can help you to be a better ethical leader. There are some patterns of thought and some tools here that can be very helpful. We'll start off in week 1 with an ethics quiz, and this is kind of like an introduction to being a little more aware of what are the principles that guide and drive you. A variety of scenarios and a variety of choices about how to respond to those scenarios, just to gain some understanding. Oh, well, I would think this, but other people would think that. And why? What's the difference? What are the underlying ethical guidelines that are driving those choices? We'll also talk in week 1, you'll have a chance to write a paper about the difference between law, ethics, and morality, kind of like the 3 sets of guidelines for our lives together in a society. And each one of them has a particular role to play. They interact with one another, but they're not the same. And to understand the differences and the similarities and how they influence one another is an important part of being a leader. In week 2, we'll talk about we'll look at some of the academic research into what is ethical leadership, what's the relationship between theories of ethics and theories of leadership. Look at things like a variety of ethical theories like deontological ethics and virtue ethics, and then also take a look at different leadership theories like servant leadership or authentic leadership. Take a look at those things and see how that all comes together to help us be more effective ethical leaders. In week 3, we'll look at codes of conduct and codes of ethics from different organizations. And this is the week where you have your biggest assignment. Your biggest assignment of the course is to take kind of a deep dive into an analysis of the code of ethics or the code of conduct of an organization. And I hope that you will have the opportunity to do that for an organization that you are connected to. So whether it's the organization where you work or an organization where you volunteer, that you'll have the opportunity to analyze that code of ethics. If you choose, or if you feel like you have to look at the code of ethics of some other organization, that's fine. You'll still certainly learn things, but one of the things that I hope to do in this class is to kind of give you some assignments that are applicable to where you are right now. And if you take a look at the code of ethics of the organization where you work or where you volunteer, that can be helpful to have a deeper understanding of where that organization is coming from, and maybe understand why some of the good things happen or some of the not so good things happen. In week 4, we'll talk a little bit about employee-employer relations. What are the responsibilities that employees have to employers? What are the responsibilities that employers have to employees? What kind of accountability is set up to make sure that those things, the things that are important in those relationships, happen? In week 5, we'll talk a little bit about corporate social responsibility. The idea that corporations are not only in existence to make money for their shareholders. Yes, it's true. According to U.S. law, the main function of a corporation, the main responsibility of a corporation is to make money for shareholders. However, corporations do have other responsibilities. They have responsibilities to the communities in which they operate. They have responsibilities to people. They have responsibilities to the environment. And so how do corporate leaders make ethical decisions to balance those different responsibilities? We'll also talk a little bit about how people from different cultures have different ethical presuppositions, different moralities, and how in an organization do we deal with that? How do we deal with people from different cultures who might have different moral sensibilities and have to work together and have to produce and succeed together? In week 6, we'll kind of wrap things up. We'll talk a little bit about being an ethical leader, what your own personal philosophy of ethical leadership is. We'll do a leadership legacy assessment, which kind of looks at what are some of the skills and gifts that you bring as an ethical leader, and what are some of the areas where you might have some opportunities to grow as a leader. And that will kind of wrap up the course. Throughout the course, we'll have opportunity to discuss some ethical dilemmas, some scenarios where this is what it looks like. To a lot of people, this is going to look really wrong and really bad. As an ethical leader, as a person in a place of responsibility, how would you respond? And we'll have some of those conversations. As we have those kinds of conversations, and even other conversations in the class, we're talking about people's deep beliefs. And so there can be emotions, strong emotions, that go along with our ethical commitments. And so I'll ask you to be gentle with one another, to be kind to one another. If somebody says something with which you strongly disagree, please try to take a step back and say, why would a decent, reasonable, rational person say that or think that? And to respond with curiosity and kindness, and hopefully we can build more understanding in our group as well. So I'm looking forward to our time together. Again, if there is any way that I can be helpful, please reach out to me, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email, reach out to me through Canvas, whichever way is easiest for you. And if you would like to set up a time to talk via Zoom, if that would be something that would be helpful, let me know. We can do that as well. And again, I'm looking forward to our time together. Thank you.